Terrific. Okay, so welcome. It's the July 10th meeting of the Middle Smithfield Township Board of Supervisors. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the agenda. I don't believe we have any amendments, do we?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 26th.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pat, could we please have a report on executive session?
Sure. Before the meeting, the board met in executive session to discuss litigation and real estate. No decisions were made, no votes were taken.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? Is any of the public? Yes, sir.
I'd like to have a request in the 2026 budget for replacement of Westlake Drive, formerly known as Big Ridge Drive.
I see, in reserve of Pond Creek. It was formerly Big Ridge Drive,
Yes,
and then the bridge was closed,
yes.
and that portion was
From the bridge
changed to, right, to
209
209.
is a mess. Multi-layered holes in the road, it's a problem. Now, someone has attempted recently, as a few days ago, to put a little bit of asphalt in there, but it's come out. There's some holes that weren't covered. It really needs to be addressed. I hate to wait till 2026, but apparently that's 2025 budget doesn't permit. that.
Well, I can say that it's not in 2025. I can't guarantee 2026 because they're doing work on that corner and they'll be digging up that road
What corner is that, sir?
right on Westlake and 209. They're putting
They're working on 209.
they're putting lockers there, the storage lockers there.
The West Wind self-storage.
Storage lockers?
Yeah,
It's a self-storage facility.
Oh, no, they're the ones
Yeah.
on 3 stories high.
Yes.
Why do people prevent that? Because homeowners have to look at 3 levels, 3 stories of storage area. Why is that,
This
why
is-
is that something you wanna do?
this is years ago. I mean, this has been approved
Yeah, well, just
for quite some time.
well, just for a little bit of background, it is in the commercial district. That parcel is in the commercial district. We did have several public hearings, and we did have a
No, I attended one a year ago,
we
ma'am.
did place conditions on the owner to appropriately buffer in between the homes and the facility.
And there's no room between the homes, and this doesn't affect me because I'm not a homeowner on that particular street. I'm actually one more street in. But I feel badly for my homeowners who are facing this. There's no room, man, between the homes and 209. There's very little room to build a 3-story multi-storage facility. Well, you may have had multiple meetings about it. I attended one year ago, expressed my concerns at that time in behalf of some of my friends who own homes in that area. It's regrettable that you have to put a mixed-use area near homes that close. Nobody thought that was
Well, it is
an
following,
issue.
it is following the setback in our ordinance. It does follow the setback. We'd be happy to show you, we have the plans now, don't we?
Mhm.
So we'd be happy for you to come to a workshop session so you can review the plans and see exactly how it's going to be
There's
laid
some
out.
room there, ma'am. I've looked at it. I drive in and out of that road every day. To say, sir, that you won't fix that drive for me, I don't understand that, sir.
Well, we're not gonna pave it if they're gonna dig it up.
I understand, but at the same time, you dig it up, you can't repave it at the same time.
But-
If you dug it up, I have to wait another year after that to have it repaved again, sir.
Well, I had to
Request, I-
find out what their schedule is, quite honestly. If they finish this year, perhaps we can put it next year, but I'm not gonna pave it than have them dig it up and then put patches in.
No, I'm not asking you, sir. I'm asking if the work is done, pay right after it. You've gotta fill this hole you're creating or this trench you're creating. You've gotta put asphalt over it, I assume.
Right,
So at that point, one should pay the whole drive at the same.
well, we would be doing the road, there's a contract, they have their own contractors doing all the digging and everything else.
Okay.
We're only the township, we're not the developer.
Would you mind giving Michelle your contact information, either now or after the meeting? So I'm sorry, I don't remember your name from.
Yeah, it's good. I moved here as a retired person. I don't understand some of these are going on. If I can mention something else before we close in this particular place. Why are the homes or why are the businesses allowed to dilapidate and to fall apart? The diner being one of those across the street from the supermarket. Why are those properties allowed to become a third world country in terms of their appearance?
Mm-hmm.
Pieces falling off the buildings, grass growing in it. It just looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it doesn't do anything for the curb appeal of this part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why those people are permitted to allow their properties to degrade to that point where it looks so bad.
Mark.
And it's that diner across the street and it's an home across away from it. It's
Well, we do have.
Costs to paint a house and make it look like a presentable piece of property so it doesn't degrade my overall area that I live in.
That is the very reason why we enacted a property maintenance ordinance. And you could maybe speak to Mark where those particular properties are in the process, because I know there is enforcement against the diner every time they fail to meet the property maintenance ordinance.
And that's the tall grass and the parts that we thought during windy weather were gonna blow up and hit somebody at the gas station. There's no, it's pretty, I'm not gonna say it's as secure as your house, but it's pretty secure now. There was flashing and siding and everything hanging out, and it is for sale. I mean, much like the property off Westlake was for sale for many years. Nobody wanted to buy it, and then when somebody bought it.
Why would you want to buy it, sir, if it looks that bad?
No, the property on the corner of Westlake and 209.
Yeah.
Been for sale for years, where the storage unit's gonna go. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, honestly, if
Even at
I
that
lived
rate, the property owners could have got together and bought it and said it'll be nothing forever.
Yeah, I think it was for sale for $60,000. So if the community had purchased it, you know, because when a piece of property is commercial, you're gonna have commercial there eventually.
Because there's so many other pieces of property
Yeah.
for sale that 3-level, huge.
We cannot tell people what to buy and what not to
I
buy.
know.
I wish
You
I
know,
could.
You
so-
understand my frustration as a taxpayer, why that doesn't, and to say that property's not gonna be fixed, is that person gonna allow that diner to simply continue to fall apart?
So there's a few things. Number one, this isn't a question answer. This is public comment. So you may just
understand.
comment, the board will listen to it, and they have been. One thing, the property maintenance code, there are limits to what the township can do. So what one person thinks is unacceptable, it likely doesn't rise to the level of an actionable item that this board, this township can take against the property owner. In order for it to fall under the international or the property maintenance code or the nuisance ordinance, it needs to be a public nuisance. And certain things, certain aesthetic things don't qualify necessarily as purposes of a nuisance. So there is a limit as to what the township can do. And I believe they are doing it now under that newly enacted property maintenance code. And just one other item, in the state of Pennsylvania, this township can't not allow for certain uses. And that's why you have zones within township zoning districts, and in the commercial zoning districts, commercial property or commercial uses are permitted. I'm not familiar with that property or that plan, but it sounds like they applied for the appropriate use. There were hearings, there were plans, it was reviewed by the township engineer, and I'm assuming, without having firsthand knowledge or reviewed the plan, they've complied with the township saldo and the zoning ordinance and secured all the approvals that they needed to do. But there are limits to what this township can do.
So presently, they can't do anything to the people who own the diner.
I don't personally know the status of that, and if it's in enforcement, which it may be, if it's in enforcement, would it be appropriate for this board to discuss with an open investigation or an open enforcement action with a member of the public that comes to a public meeting?
What the other thing you need to understand about that is more than a public nuisance or a safety issue, it's ugly. But we can't dictate what's ugly. We can't decide what's ugly and what's not ugly. Just because you may not like the way it looks, and I don't like the way it looks, the owner's saying, I'm gonna try to sell it this way with the building on it. And
So in reality, it could stay for sale and become more and more dilapidated over the years and nobody can do a thing.
I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you can sit there with a vacant property and pay taxes on it.
The pieces are
Year after year
falling
after
off
year.
that building. I mean, I'm sure you've seen. There are whole sections of that roof building just falling on the ground. That just to,
We can certainly have zoning,
frustrated
we can,
taxpayer.
we can certainly have zoning look at it again to make sure that they've covered everything under the property maintenance ordinance. And then they issue a notice of violation and proceed further with it. Okay, is there any other public comment on any non-agenda items? And then if you could give your contact information to Michelle, we'll be glad to follow up with you on these things. Thank you,
I'm
thank
just
you.
frustrated.
I understand, and that's what these meetings are for. I'm glad you came. Thank you. Okay, anybody on Zoom or anywhere else have any public comment on non-agenda items? Okay, I don't see any, so we'll just move to announcements. They'll be short tonight because we do have a mini mid-year presentation. So tomorrow night, Friday, the 11th, at the Community and Cultural Center at 6 o'clock, there will be an opening reception for the new art display that's there. So we wanted to mention that. And then on Saturday, there is something also at the Community and Cultural Center. The 2024 Person of the Year is having an event there to raise funds for her charity for which she had won the 2024 Person of the Year, and that would be to support a cure for breast cancer. So that is a tea that's over there, and you can find that on our website. The East Stroudsburg Area School District Summer Lunch Program is in full swing. You can find that on our website as well, and some flyers on the side. And Maddie's Snow Day is on July 27th. We'll mention this again at the next meeting. But you can find all these things over on the side. I did want to say that although we do have our mid-year presentation tonight, we did also do committee and department reports. So those are over on the side table, and as usual, that will be included in their entirety with the minutes online, so that you can see fully what happened with each department and committee. I don't know if the board has anything that they would like to call out from their committee reports or anything. All right, can I just make a quick motion to accept the committee reports?
Sorry.
Comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Okay, and then we did want to congratulate again Marshall's Creek Fire Company on their 80th anniversary. The staff puts a display at the Community and Cultural Center for the anniversary of the explosion, and that's what you see around you. That just came back from the community center. So that's all I have for announcements. Michelle, do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Okay, and then that brings us to the mid-year presentation, and I'm just going to share screen, and we're doing it as a little bit of a different format this year. The staff puts together their reports in the beginning of the year. They show what their goals are for their departments and their committees, and that's a preview of the upcoming year. And then you can see plans of things like which roads are going to be paved and what projects are going to happen. And then in the middle of the year, we do give another report, like a report card to the public. And we've discovered that between the 4th of July and Labor Day, it's kind of slow, and this is the most amount of people we've had attending in the summer in a long time. So the staff isn't here this evening. This will just be no more than 5 or 10 minutes, probably closer to 5. Because you can enjoy this online when the staff gives the presentation and we post it to YouTube and all that, okay? So fair enough. I'm just gonna share screen for a bit. Oh, I see 2 chats. Okay. Okay, let me just. See if I can. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so we're in the middle of the year. Welcome to our mid-year presentation, and you might recognize this photo. It's from Alex over at BRC Channel 13. Took this photo of Hidden Lake, which is in the National Recreation Area in Middle Smithfield Township the other night. So congratulations again. We just always like to give a shout out to our persons of the year and the runner-up. So here is a list of the events that these finalists and person of the year have. We spotlight them throughout the year, and the township markets their events because the idea is to shine a light on people that aren't good at doing that for themselves and to help promote their organizations. So we just always include that with our public presentations. So this is kind of how the presentation is laid out. These are our events so that you'll have them when you look at this online or print out a copy for yourself. And now we'll just run through nothing normal, nothing new here under communication. What's new is Citizens Portal. So you can go online and fill out your complaints about anything that you might have. It's the middle of the year. So far, we've welcomed 173 new residents, which is actually down from 2023 and 2022. Welcome to Charlotte, who is our new Director of First Impressions. You can see how many people have visited the township already, 11, almost 1,200 people, and you can see what they mostly come for, zoning, that's not a big surprise. And you can see zoning, sewer, some facts and figures here. The staff continues to attend training sessions. The whole staff went to a PSATs between the PSATs presentation and their online webinars, and you can see what we're doing to invest in our people. We're happy to continue our intern program. This is Kendra from ESU. She's been helping out the zoning office a tremendous amount. For the 3rd year in a row, we are participating in the My Work program, which is the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. So you can see what these students are up to. Because the federal funding was cut, we have less students for less time, but we're still appreciative of what they've done and what they will continue to do through August. They got a mailing out so far. They did some maintenance on buildings and grounds. They picked litter today at the Park and Ride and on Municipal Drive. Budget and finance. I know it's tiny numbers and I'm not going to read through all of them, but you can see that we were pleasantly surprised in receiving more delinquent taxes. Real estate transfer tax was down, which is no surprise because there are very little homes for sale in Monroe County. And the earned income is up. I don't know if you want to share any other highlights, Mike.
From what I can see, at least, I would say that we're doing well because there's less red than black.
Fire and EMS tax remains robust and healthy, so that's good support from them. We did well in the grants division this year, so you could see what was awarded. The newsletter will be coming out soon. Next week, you can expect to see that in your mailbox, and you can read more about these grants that we've received. For different areas of the township. Sewer, the exciting thing there is the odor control that we just started a 3-month trial on. For one thing, if this works, it will save about $4,000 a month, which is not a small savings, so that's good. We're moving forward with the sewer line relocation in CCP, that's by you, sir. And the sewer line extension, we're moving ahead from that. You've heard from Ben on that, on a few things. So hopefully by mid-September, we will be able to give the thumbs up or the noses up on this odor control system. Here is a snapshot of where we are with sewer. You could see how many EDUs are left to sell and how many are left, have been sold already. The Community and Cultural Center. We currently have, it's the middle of the year and we've already got 142 events booked for the whole year. There's still room for more. If you know any 501c3s that are looking for a place to meet or have an event, please call us. And these were some of the exhibits that I just mentioned. And some of the upcoming events that you could see going on, most notably the Memory Makers Luncheon. So you can see that we've got postcards out and invitations out. If you are a longtime resident, meaning you've lived here 30 years or more, we're happy to have you attend. If you are a senior citizen and you've lived here 20 years or more, we're also happy to have you attend. If you're none of those things and would like to attend anyway, because we're covering America 250, by all means, give us a call. We're developing a waiting list for that. As a matter of fact, the WeWork folks, the students actually did the mailing for the invitation letters that also went out in addition to the postcards as a follow-up. There's upcoming classes, there's chair yoga, the archaeology club is getting very popular. These are some events that support the 2024 Person of the Year and the finalists. So that's why we've highlighted them in this presentation, so that when you have more of a chance to view it, you can download that. And this was the art exhibit that I was just talking about by Tricia Lippert. She curated an exhibit with a number of local artists. And the opening reception is tomorrow, 6 to 8. So for zoning, Mark's department, we started with these goals here. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for the animation. I had no idea that I did that by accident. So these are the things that were passed and done. And I don't want to jinx it, but I did add in here, we're on our way for the new revised zoning ordinance, which is something I wanted to talk to you about afterwards too, the follow up on the phone call. So enforcement, January 1st to July 1st. This is what the zoning office has accomplished so far. They went out on burning. It's hard to believe that there were burning violations with all the rain we've had. There were a lot more on other things. And here you can get a full snapshot of how busy the zoning office is with all the permits that are happening. So I put this snapshot of the slide here from the preview, because they were kind of saying, wow, we issued 495 permits in 2023, and then in 24 we went up to 704, and they were saying in 2025 let's try for 1,000. Well, when we look at it, they're up to 450 already, and it's the middle of the year, so they're kind of on track to hit 900. But this gives you an idea of the permits that are outstanding there. Now the zoning office's goals are here. They want to put any short-term rentals in compliance and go after the ones that are flying under the radar because you can't regulate what you don't know about, and increase the compliance rate. So this is what the zoning administrator, Myra, who's responsible for short-term rentals, has been able to do. She was the driving force behind us getting Decker Technology, which is able to find unregistered short-term rentals. They've identified 49 already, and they are being brought into compliance. So you could see how the numbers shake up here. So in here, she's written a little bit more about the resale certificates. Those are move in and move out. So those are, remember the new resident packets we talked about in the beginning? That's where these are. Myra sends out packets to new residents so they know about how to take care of their septic system, or if they're on sewer, what are the ground rules? Just a lot of introductory things. And that's where these numbers come from. So if the current trend continues, we're on track to issue 328 permits in 2025. Short-term rental licenses. So here is where you can see where that they have to reapply for the license every year. So it isn't like it's growing, it's just that they have to reapply every year for it. It's also important to remember that while it seems like a lot, it's 4% of the township residences. And on to planning, which is Michelle and Mark. I mean, you can feel free to jump in at any time, but this is what the Planning Commission has going on so far. And you can find out about projects by going to our plans and projects page. It's a new page on our website. So you'll see down here a snapshot of that page. So if you wanted to find out what was going on with the Marshall Square Shopping Center, you could go to that page, click on any one of these things and see all the plans. So as far as legal, we always like to just have that there for the record. You could see so far in 2025, we've passed 2 ordinances. One was just a cleanup of an ordinance to make sure that Marshalls Creek Fire Company EMS and Lehman EMS were added to the list of eligible entities. It was just a bit of housekeeping. The ordinance 248 was regarding noise. So we now have a new noise nuisance ordinance. And these were all the resolutions that were passed. So you can enjoy that on your spare time. As far as right to knows, Christopher Rain does a very thorough and fast job on right to knows. Usually he puts the turnaround time here. I mean, every time you get a right to know, you have the right as the right to know officer to automatically apply for a 30-day extension. He gets most of these done in 5. Oh, here it is, completed in 5 days, 116. 30-day extensions, 10. So he does a terrific job out of that. Emergency preparedness, we'll be able to speak more intelligently about that. It's the end of the year. The township is working on a few things with our fire and EMS providers, but for now, we just want to remind everybody, these are all volunteer fire companies, and you can see the volume of calls that they do. We're happy that we have passed a nuisance law for them. So if they get a nuisance call, a fire alarm goes off and there's no fire, we now have the ability to fine people and give that money to the fire department, because it costs, I think they said $600 just to get a truck out. And how annoying to get all suited up. It's volunteers leaving their dinner table to go out and answer a call for a fire that isn't a fire. It's just a false alarm. Congratulations to both Shawnee and Marshalls Creek on their 80th anniversaries. And here is our ambulance companies that service the township. Public Works, roads. So here is, there's the list of roads that they had planned for in the preview. So you can see a list here of the paving that's on the way and the chip seal that's on the way. Winona Falls Road, they plan to cut banks and pave. I don't know if you wanted to go through any of it. I mean, the big news, I think, in Public Works is the cleanup. There's a ramp, there's a picture of the ramp here, right behind this building. And instead of twice a year cleanup, it's now available to residents every Friday from 7 AM to 1 PM. On Fridays, all the way through to October. And there's free recycling. And there's a list of the shoulders and drain work that they've had. And here is your list of roads. And Public Works has always been well on their way of achieving, how many miles of road every 10 years?
We have 74 miles, we try to do 10% each year.
So every,
Usually like between 7 and 8 miles of road every year.
and here's what we were just speaking about as far as the, cleanup ramp behind there.
That's 200, I don't know.
Well, it's from, budget and finance.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
So, sometimes folks ask, why is it $10 per car? We're sharing the cost with you. It's still, it doesn't even pay for the whole thing, but I think it's very convenient to have this. And I was told that this would bring humor to the presentation. Okay, so apparently they're putting up beaver crossing signs. Recycling and composting. So as you know, we have the Oak Grove Recycling Center, and it's for leaf composting. It produces great mulch. And Seamus, you have a plot up at the community gardens, so you're a frequent flyer over there. If there's anything you'd like to say?
No, it's just, it's a real, it's killed in my 81 Ford F1.
So, there are a number of, we do this with other townships, other municipalities. This is a joint effort between Middle Smithfield, Lehman Township and Smithfield. And I don't know if any of you know Supervisor Robert Levenheim from Smithfield, but he is a big advocate for composting, recycling, anything you can do along that. So he has the ear of Mike Stetler, who is the new executive director of the Monroe County Municipal Waste Authority. And they are working on being able to accept more items to compost. And here are some of the numbers that you could see. See, I said it was like a report card, right? It's not as exciting as the preview, but here are the numbers on what has been collected. And there are some more details on spring fall cleanup. And now we're on to the public portion of this, like the economic development. The first one up is the Economic Development Committee. Right now, they have a Christmas in July promotion going on, so feel free to grab any of these cards if you want to use it until you get your township newsletter, which will have this in there. We've got 22 businesses that are happy to offer a discount. These are the new businesses that we've welcomed so far, just in the first half of 2025. Yummy Kebab and Satter Luxury Lines that competes with Mart's. Right next to the Park and Ride, the Car Cleaners Detail Shop, Juju's Vault is having their grand opening in August. And then here are some that are coming soon. Some of the bigger developments that you'll find, remember that page we were talking about on our website, the Planning Commission and Plans and Projects. You will see the apartments at Mount Nebo Phase 2 coming up there, as well as the Big Ridge Self-Storage Unit, formerly the Pocono Ridge Inn, which used to be the Deerfield Inn, and some other things. So LERTA is a program that encourages development in our commercial zone because they help increase the property value And which means they pay more taxes, which means, it bears the burden, it lessens the burden on residents. So, Middle Smith, these are the three taxing authorities, and the only one we're waiting on now is the county. You know, to renew it for another 10 years. The Revitalize 209 grant committee, this is the work that they've done to improve facades. And yes, we did talk to the, I keep calling it the Yankee Doodle. Four Seasons, was the Four Seasons, the diner, the dilapidated diner, because they could apply for this. The project size of the Revitalize 209 grant program is $20,000. That's the max size that it could be. The township will split the cost with anyone looking to improve their facade up to 50%. So and it's a reimbursement grant, so the work must be done and it must be inspected and up to snuff before the township reimburses them. We've talked to the diner to say that they could use this for their facade, like if they pick a project for the diner that's $20,000, they could use this. We even had we spoke to the owner also about considering raising for it. So we've not had any forward movement on that, but that was on our radar for that. We thought that this is exactly why we created this program. As far as the historical commission, I kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit about America 250 and the Memory Makers, but we're happy to have these banners up, expanding the site, the memorial site of the Marshalls Creek explosion. There's more planned for it, but we can't do anything on the ground because PennDOT is planning on widening there. So we don't want to go so far and then have the work be decimated. But we were able to do these banners, and we have them up there, one for each of the souls that were lost during the explosion. As we talked about before, there's the Memory Makers Luncheon. So I hope you spread the word to longtime residents. And the exhibit will be America 250 and the Flood of 55. America 250 will be the topic of the Memory Makers Luncheon. So Danny Younger will be a speaker. He's a local historian. Also, Dave Parker will drop by and give an update on America 250 and what the county is doing. And the township will be able to give an update on the plans that we are shaping to celebrate America's 250th birthday. And you notice I'm saying that because I know if I say sesquicentennial, I will not get it correct. So there's Monroe County. And another project that Danny Younger is working on is to create a national monument where Fort Hinshaw once stood. So that is between our township and Lehman Township. So you'll notice this historical marker as you drive down that way on 209. He was recently featured in the Pike County Courier. And this is if we are successful with all of our grants, this is what a replica of Fort Hinshaw would look like. So we're happy to share with you more details on his proposal, just not right this moment because I promised to be no more than 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah. Parks and Recreation, you could see what they've accomplished here. They've also been successful in the grants department. They've given out a lot of pool vouchers, a lot going on with litter and beautification. We have these wonderful new Bear Saver trash cans. And here are some of the park events that are going on. Coming up is Community Day in August. I believe Christopher Rain, who is our Parks and Recreation Manager, said that there's 36 folks going to that. And John, I don't know if are you manning or peopling the Master Gardener table this year?
Haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, this is a great place to go to meet the township committees and different township departments, as well as touch a truck. So public works vehicles will be there, fire, EMS. The kids get a great kick out of that. Is the medevac coming this year?
We tried, just can't guarantee it.
You know, that's usually a very big hit. And that's it. So get involved, get engaged. We could use you on the community center foundation. And that's all we've got for this evening. Does anyone have any questions, comments? All right. I will stop sharing the screen now and we will move on to something really exciting, the treasurer's report.
Okay, motion for our general fund, $204,239.17.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion for our sewer account, $74,063.29.
I'll second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's
Thank you, Michael. Solicitor's report?
Other than some agenda items further on the reports, there's nothing specific at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Engineers report.
So with the Winona Lakes bridge, since our last meeting, just a few updates on that. It was just a couple days following that last meeting, our office sent to Winona Lakes and to their engineer, our structural engineers, evaluation of their inspection report. Noting basically the same issues that we discussed at the last meeting, notably just that their report was, from our perspective, inconsistent with typical bridge inspection standards in the way that that's handled. Overly conservative on some assumptions and just lacking some of the analysis needed to arrive at the 10-ton posting conclusion that they arrived at. In addition to sending that over, as we discussed at the last meeting, I had indicated that the township had some steel plates available if, per their assessment, that was something that for temporary relief to the bridge would be welcomed as a way to improve the condition there and potentially increase the bridge loading. Since then, we got a response back from them that's included in your packet of information. The gist of which is that they're standing by their prior conclusions and not modifying any of those. They said that they would not recommend the use of steel plates. Didn't really indicate any reason why besides that it would present a drainage issue, which we're not exactly sure the grounds for that or any legitimacy to that comment. We had also in our initial email requested to schedule an in-person meeting with our certified bridge inspector and theirs to just talk through some of these assumptions and make sure that the conclusions that were drawn were appropriate and there was no response from either their engineer or from the community indicating the desire on their end to have said meeting as well. The response said that over the next few weeks, they will be finalizing estimates and schedules for the repairs that they're proposing to the bridge. At which point, I guess they'll have some more information for us. So I guess that leaves us with some questions as to, again, it's a private bridge. It's not a township-owned road. It's not a township-owned bridge. The wastewater operators, I've had Prosser reach out to me. They have modified their arrangements for how they're getting to and from the plant to try and honor the 10-ton limit. Trying to get information as to at what cost that'll be to the township, because that's obviously additional trips, less efficient way of maintaining the plant than you would prefer. And so, yeah, I guess likewise, there hasn't been any updates on the alternative means of access that they were pursuing. I haven't seen plans or sense of schedule on when that would proceed either. I have prepared a draft letter that could be sent to, there's an exhibit in your packet of 6 properties that were noted between Clubhouse Drive and Shawnee Drive. Largely vacant properties to just basically get a sense of whether or not property owners would be open to a possible temporary access easement across their property, just so that we can get a much shorter means of access to basically give some relief to the operators and be able to get back to kind of standard practice on getting to and from the plant. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any questions at this time, as far as next steps and, if we want to wait for Winona to figure out what their schedule is and their recommended repairs. I do think it'd probably be worthwhile to have a meeting, whether we invite them for the next one or, once they have a sense of what they're proposing schedule wise, but it just seems like, it seems like we've been trying to assist with offering steel plates, offering to meet, and trying to identify where the inspection report might have been lacking, and there really hasn't been any reciprocal cooperation. It's been kind of the sense of it.
Well, I mean, just as a way of background, I mean, we own the plant and operate the plant, the sewer plant that resides within Winona Lake. We have to get in there daily. Larger trucks have to get in there probably
Once a month.
a little bit more.
We went over this in the sewer meeting.
Right, but Winona Lakes, I mean, their board, like many HOA boards, they're not being cooperative. So we have to take it upon ourselves to reach out to these property owners and the adjoining HOA, so we can continue to operate without substantial expense. And I would say that right now, because of the weight limit, that we are incurring additional expenses.
Yeah, I think the other aspect of it too, and I can't speak to the legalities of this, right? But I mean, the 10-ton limit imposes restrictions. It makes it difficult for emergency access.
Correct.
Makes it an issue for garbage trucks.
Well, you know how they're gonna get propane delivered to the people in the back.
Right. And I don't know. I don't know exactly how it's been communicated to local emergency personnel as if they're not allowed to exceed it. I don't know if that's legally allowed. And even our role is closer to a utility, right? I mean, we're providing essential services strictly to that community.
Correct.
I mean, this plant only serves residents of that community, and the township is only operating that plant because the community failed to do so in the past, and DEP was forced to basically remove it from their operation and control. So, yeah, so I think there's a few things going on. One would be that I think requires an actual motion, so anything like to proceed would be the sending out of these letters to those residents to inquire about their willingness to provide a temporary access easement for this purpose. I'm fine with that coming from my office.
I would like to pursue a permanent easement for the township for us to get to our asset.
Well,
And
I think
that would be
right now, for
for
purposes of
the
immediacy,
township, right?
I think we need at least a temporary one to ensure that you have continued access to your plant
Right.
while the bridge is being resolved, however,
Correct.
Winona Lakes decides to proceed with the bridge. So for purposes of now,
And the emergency exit,
for what?
because if there's an emergency, while they're repairing, there's all those people also
Right,
that we have to.
Well, I don't know if we can make that leap. You know, to say that we'll open it for all the other residents to use. I don't know if we. can.
No, I meant for emergency services to get through.
Well,
So
I know-
I would be interested in having an easement agreement with the adjacent property owners for the township to maintain our asset and also to provide an emergency exit and access for emergency vehicles.
well, fire already goes in through Ace's property. They already can go that way, rather than going around.
Mhm.
I don't know as far as ambulance, I don't know if you've been up that way.
We normally wouldn't have to be up there, but we would have permission to go through ACES as
Right.
well.
Right, so fire and EMS go through Ace's. I mean, Ace doesn't want the whole traffic situation, I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, I don't blame them.
But it's, and the same token, you know. I think the temporary easement right now for us. While we still try to engage Winona's board, how difficult that may be. Because we're dumping people onto mountaintops roads. So now, you know. They gotta be okay with, you know, I don't know how many homes are back there, there's gotta be 100.
And easily.
Right, so, you know, there's at least 100 homes across that bridge that are gonna be going through Mountaintop. And you gotta get them to agree to allow them to do that too. So the immediacy is our sewer plant.
Correct.
So if we can at least approach these people for a temporary easement. You know, where we store it back to, you know, whatever it is today. I mean, right now they're vacant properties. So, you know, we could cut a road through there in a week.
yeah, one that has a home on it, I guess.
You know, we can
depending on-
move to the other lot too.
What's that?
There's another lot right next door that we can cut right through.
Correct, yeah, I think on the exhibit, we highlighted 6 of them there, right, and
Well, the house you talk about, that's been abandoned for years. That's been for tax sale, probably at least 2 or 3 years. There's tax sale papers sitting on rocks. I mean,
okay.
you know. So, I mean, I don't think you're gonna have more difficulty finding the owner than you're gonna find getting an easement.
Right.
So anyway, I go back to, I think the immediacy is to try to get the easement for the sewer operation. Then we can, you know, sort of parlay that into, you know, for the other homeowners. If we can get everybody to agree.
So the motion you're waiting for is.
Yeah, so the motion would be.
To authorize you
I
to.
mean, if you're
write
fine with
those
it
letters.
on our company
Yeah.
letterhead on behalf of the township, I don't mind sending that out. There's draft language, that was provided
Yeah,
to
I
you in
see
the
it.
packet. If acceptable, it would be consistent with that.
Yeah.
So
I'll make that motion.
Second.
do something to add with that.
Yeah, the only, so these 1, 2, 3, 6 properties that the letter's going to, that doesn't include the other property that you mentioned.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, Ace's the one?
No,
No, not Ace, no. What are you talking about?
I mean, Ace.
No, don't.
So this
Ace
would
is
be a
not far.
separate, this is a separate attempt.
Nothing to do with Ace.
Temporarily access.
Further up the hill,
This should be coming in through Mountaintop.
right,
Okay.
right. There's. I don't remember, there's a cross street. That hits Clubhouse and then there's an abandoned red house on that property. You may know the road,
I think so, yeah.
but then that house. And then there's 2 empty lots on Mountaintop side,
Right,
you know, so we would dump onto Shawnee Drive.
right.
So,
Okay. So this motion is only for a letter to these 6 property owners
and the HOA,
and the HOA.
we have to get a hold of Mountaintop.
yeah, if someone can get me the contact information for the HOA, we can send that out as well.
And I think, I would just say that
Be a permanent solution.
it could be, it could be,
That's what I would like to see. I would like to see a permanent easement.
Has always been, if it really is, I mean, yes, apart from the good graces of the aces who were wonderful people. That really has been
Agreed.
the means of ingress and egress.
Right, I mean, honestly, it would. If we can get through this easement situation, I think we can find out what these people want for those properties. You're only talking about 3 lots. So what are they could be $7,000 a piece. You're talking less than $20,000. To secure that property.
To solve a problem that dates back to the seventies, right?
Correct.
I have no,
Right.
I very much.
I mean, we're gonna try our best and use our powers of persuasion to do this because it's the most expeditious and safest way for the people up back there.
Okay, so there's been a motion and a second. Are there any other comments or questions? Anybody on Zoom have any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Ben.
That's no problem.
Is there anything else on your engineer's report?
No, and I mean, I can't think of anything else specific on that matter. If there's any other questions that the board had or that.
No, I think, Ben and I will talk. I mean, it's hard to say the layout of these lots, how that temporary access road, if we're gonna call it a road, is gonna look like and what potential
It's not
adjustments.
gonna be pretty, it's just gonna be.
No, I mean, if there's any obstacles or anything with respect to the properties that will have to be adjusted, that,
From like a restoration standpoint.
yeah,
Oh, we'll just dump dirt and seed it and hay it and that's it. If we had to restore it back. But they're empty lots, I mean.
Yeah, and the ultimate alignment will ultimately hinge on who has interest, right?
Correct.
Depending on the lots that are favor of
Well,
it.
one of them lives in Winona that owns one of those lots,
Okay.
so. And like up the back, so I would think they would at least be pretty open to it.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. We have 2 items on here. The first is, the Revitalize 209 grant application that Jinyin Temple made. We made a motion at the last meeting, to approve their request pending a drive-by report from zoning, and we've just received that. So there's no action on this tonight. The board can discuss that at a workshop session, the results of that report. The next is Marshall Square Shopping Center Land Development Plan. So would you like to speak to that?
Michelle.
This doesn't expire until August 27th. So the first meeting in August, the board is gonna have to take action.
well, did they withdraw the plan?
In an email, when their bill went out for the retainer fees,
Mhm.
which we have not received yet, is how I was notified that it was withdrawn. It's still in front of the planning commission.
Okay. You said the end of August?
August 27th,
27th.
but supervisors meet the day after, they meet on the 28th, so they need to take action the first meeting in August.
Which is the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or there might be another, if they communicated to the township that they withdraw their plan, right? We could send a notification letter. I mean, to the extent, I think we may have already done
We
that.
did,
Yeah,
Yeah.
acknowledging the fact that we received their withdrawal. So there may not, if it's withdrawn, there's no real need to act on the plan if the applicant formally withdraws it. But to protect, depending upon if they don't respond to our correspondence that we sent out in response to the email. I mean, what it'll be is likely an action after your first meeting in August, if we don't hear back. Either acknowledging the withdrawal or denying, or acknowledging the withdrawal, or in the alternative, denying the plan based upon the latest township engineer review letter. And that's what it'll be.
Okay. All right, Moving on to new business. So one of the elected auditors has moved out of the township, and that is one of the requirements for being an elected auditor. So we now have this letter of resignation, so I would make a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Zach Clue.
Second.
And I would just like to thank him for his service and for all the work that he has done while he was here. Even though he's not here to hear that, I would still like to thank him for all he's done. So there's been a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? And you can look for the township to be advertising and all the vehicles we have available to us for someone who's interested in that position that we can appoint for the remainder of that term. All in favor? Aye. And I believe this next item is yours.
Yeah, make a motion to authorize advertising for a Kenworth tandem triaxle.
Second.
And this is to bid on it,
No, to get bids to.
to receive bids for
Correct.
it. Okay, and I understand you expected this to cost,
We budgeted 70,000, so we're hoping that it comes in less than that.
yeah. It's 3 of us. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And next we have, as part of new business, we have received a Revitalize 209 grant application from Richard's Tree Farm. The committee, the Revitalize 209 committee has gone through this and had their recommendations. So that is what is in the board's packet. And tonight we are just introducing this topic and we can discuss this after the board has had more, I believe you wanted more of a chance to look at what was included. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, and our solicitor also has not seen this until then. He would like more of a chance to go through this. So there's no action on that for tonight. And that brings us to public comment. Is there any public comment on anything? Anyone from Zoom? Yes, Ed.
What's the current and future obligation that the township has for the Green Light Goes program?
Nothing. We're done.
Are we paying out the part that we owe?
We don't owe them, that we have to get reimbursed from the grant.
And then, do we pay a maintenance fee then, or?
The lights have been turned over to our vendor. What you saw today, as far as municipal, that was from the repair from the accident that happened. When the truck hit the.
Right, that one, but I'm talking about, fine tuning each intersection.
That's on us now.
Because, you know, it's, I think it's better, but considering everything that you had to pay for it, I
Right,
don't think we're getting our money's worth.
correct. Well, it's not seamless. I'll give you that. I mean, you see me, I was out there with you as well, but it's certainly not seamless, but I think we have to give our vendor who maintains these lights a chance to get familiar with the system. So I think it'll, in the long run, I guess it's better. I think there's some upgrades that perhaps we should look at in the near term, but we had to get through the grant process first, which quite honestly took quite a long time. I mean, you're talking almost 5 years, I think.
COVID kind of stalled.
Right, COVID screwed it all up, and then something else happened, the engineer got pregnant, I don't know how it was, but I mean, we finally got done like, 5 years later, so.
Is there an option for another grant to, pay them to monitor the program?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I can look, but I'm not aware of any.
Because, supposedly, other municipalities have them monitoring it, and so that if there is a problem,
Right,
they see it right away.
Right.
You get on it rather than us having to, we.
correct, and that's the upgrades that I think we should pursue.
But is there a possibility for a grant to do that, so you don't?
There may be, I'd have to see if PennDOT has a grant for it, that would be the authority. I don't know the answer to that honestly.
Right, any other comments or questions? Anyone?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
What?
I don't have to do it now, but I did forget. I am away the week of your next meeting. So I can either participate by phone or someone else from my office. can
Where you
come.
going?
Down to, it's called Topsail, North Carolina.
Can we zoom this whole meeting in from there?
Sure.
We'll all go down?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
That'd be something.
I'll follow up with you guys and Michelle. If you want me to call in, I can call in, or we can have someone else from the
or
office.
David,
Yeah.
we can come.
Sorry to interrupt. I just
No,
dawned
not at
on
all.
me that I'm not gonna be around.
It was worth the interruption to know where you're gonna be.
You're all welcome.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy your
Report you.
rest of the
Report you
week.
offer.
Lovely summer weather.
Thank you.
I'm still one.
It's not far from Camp. I